The internet didn't just gasp when this story broke. It froze. Because the moment Cardi B decided to speak up, this situation stopped being messy celebrity gossip and crossed straight into courtroom chaos. What looked like her trying to protect her man instantly turned into something way bigger, way darker, and way more dangerous. Here's where it starts getting uncomfortable. A private chef, someone who wasn't a fan, wasn't a blogger, wasn't chasing clout, stepped forward with accusations that rocked everything. According to reports, she claimed that during a heated argument over money, Stefon Diggs allegedly entered her bedroom, confronted her about payment disputes, and things escalated fast. The argument wasn't about feelings. It was about money owed, contracts, and a season's worth of work she said she never got paid for. And then came the accusation that changed everything. She said he struck her. Then she said he wrapped his arm around her neck. Not a shove, not a push, but a chokehold that left her struggling to breathe. The kind of moment where your body goes cold and your brain starts panicking. According to her account, she felt like she might black out. That's the kind of allegation that doesn't stay quiet no matter who's involved. And suddenly, this wasn't just about Diggs anymore. Because once those allegations hit paper, the spotlight swung hard toward Cardi B. And that's where things really went left. Instead of staying silent and letting lawyers handle it, Cardi jumped in. And not quietly. Reports say she reached out directly to the chef. Not through attorneys, not through mediators. Direct contact. And that single move flipped the entire narrative.
So yesterday, Cardi B decides to go on Twitter and post some screenshots of her and the alleged victim having conversations back and forth. Again, kind of piggyback a little bit off my last video that I posted. Cardi B, we just want to see you win, right? We like you, we like her personality, but ma'am, this is not it. It just went from bad to worse. Ma'am, you know how bad this is, right? Because from the outside looking, because I'm going to be very, very transparent about it. This looks really bad for the simple fact that from what he's being alleged, this is like federal charges. You taking personal conversations from you and the alleged victim and then posting it on social media, it definitely gives intimidation. It definitely gives witness tampering. Are you okay? Even like relationship with Stefon, whatever, even if you decide to stay with him, you kind of low-key is making the situation for him worse. I just don't know, and then we can't play like the game of Cardi B being young because she's not young. She's an adult. She's in her 30s. She has 4 children. She should not be on the internet posting alleged messages from her and the victim regarding her alleged boyfriend. Well, regarding her boyfriend allegedly putting his hands on her. It's a mess. Cardi B, best bet was to stay out of that whole situation. See my instant in the background. Was to stay out of the situation. They had nothing to do with you. They had nothing to do with you. They said girlfriend. She said she didn't even say it. It was in the court paper that her lawyer submitted. Alleged girlfriend, whatever. His partner reached out to her. They never said Cardi B. They never said your name at all. Somebody, even in the comments in Twitter, even made a good point. What if it wasn't the girlfriend that she was talking about? So again, we just came back from that situation from Christmas when people was looking like, Cardi, you got like 5 kids? Y'all, all y'all kids born around the same time? What is happening? Hood, triplets, quadruplets, all born the same year, months apart. That shit's crazy. People let it go, right? I personally think, you definitely are trying to move on from Offset, but I think you're doing it the wrong way.
Here's the thing people keep missing. When a case like this is active, any contact with an alleged victim is radioactive. It doesn't matter what the intention is. It doesn't matter if you think you're clearing things up. Prosecutors don't care about vibes, they care about influence. And Cardi didn't just reach out. She posted receipts. She took screenshots of private messages and dropped them publicly, seemingly trying to prove that the chef never told her anything about being touched. Cardi went full defensive mode, basically saying, "She never said that to me. We talked every day. This is a lie." She even swore on her child that she was confident the truth would come out. That post hit like gasoline on an open flame, because instead of helping Diggs, it made everything look worse. To legal experts and internet detectives alike, it looked like potential witness intimidation. Not because Cardi threatened anyone, but because she publicly inserted herself into an active legal situation involving a key witness.
Tasha K says witness intimidation charges are going to be coming against Cardi B real soon. So you got Tasha K speaking on Cardi B. Tasha ain't learned her lesson, right? Old Cardi 4 mil, but still be playing games, right? But you had Tasha K putting up this post saying, witness intimidation charges coming soon. You can't contact an alleged victim on behalf of someone being prosecuted, allegedly. Then Tasha K posted up the pic of this dude. It's the dude that said Stefon tried to, get with him and things like that, right? And she made the caption, "That's just my baby daddy. Goddamn, sometimes they ain't gonna learn," right? But Tasha is referring to the whole situation where Stefon Diggs allegedly choked out his live-in chef with the BBL. I don't know what's going on there. Some people saying, look, he got with her. Some people saying he done got her pregnant. But she's speaking on how Cardi B allegedly came up in a situation where they're saying Cardi B contacted the female chef telling her basically to not press charges. It ain't even that serious. I know he put his elbow in your neck and you couldn't breathe, girl, but it ain't even that serious. So this is what Tasha K is talking about. So Tasha K believes Cardi B is going to be charged with that.
And the chef's response? Cold, careful, legal. She shut it down immediately. She said she couldn't speak directly, asked Cardi to contact her mediator, and made it clear that anything further would need to happen confidentially and in person. That wasn't fear. That was legal awareness. And that alone told people this situation was no longer casual. At the same time, the charges against Diggs weren't light. Felony strangulation, misdemeanor assault, battery, these aren't internet rumors. These are the kinds of charges that can end careers and change lives permanently. And then the whispers started. People began dissecting the text messages between Diggs and the chef. Lines about being out of your life. Mentions of a circus going on in his house. Suddenly, fans were questioning whether this was strictly professional or something messier. And with Diggs' reputation already shaky in the public eye, speculation spread fast. Now Cardi was catching side eyes too. Not because she loved him, but because of how hard she jumped in front of the fallout. Instead of distancing herself, she planted herself right in the middle of the blast radius. And the internet started asking the question nobody wanted to ask out loud. Was she protecting him or panicking? Because here's the brutal truth. Sometimes trying to control the narrative is the very thing that locks it in. And with every post, every screenshot, every emotional response, the situation felt less like damage control and more like self-sabotage. Cardi didn't just step into the story, she became part of the case. And once that happens, there's no stepping back. The courts don't care about celebrity status. They don't care about fan bases. They care about actions, timing, and intent. And right now, everything is being watched under a microscope. Because what started as allegations against one man is now threatening to pull two high-profile names straight into legal hell. And this was only the beginning. The moment Cardi's screenshots went public, the energy around this case shifted completely. And not in a good way. What had been a serious legal situation involving Stefon Diggs suddenly turned into a two-front disaster, because now the question wasn't just what happened in that house. It was why Cardi couldn't stay out of it. And this is where things started spiraling. Legal experts online didn't mince words. When you have an open case involving felony accusations, any direct contact with a key witness is dangerous, even if you think you're being respectful, especially when that contact gets blasted on social media for millions to see. Prosecutors don't have to prove threats. They only have to show intent to influence, and intent can be argued just from the act of reaching out. That's why so many people said Cardi's post felt less like confidence and more like panic. Because let's be honest, if you're truly sure the courts will clear everything up, you don't need to post DMs, swear on your child, or challenge the public to apologize later. You let lawyers cook. The fact that Cardi went straight to the timeline made people wonder if she was reacting emotionally instead of strategically. And that's when the word intimidation started gaining traction. Not because Cardi threatened anyone, but because power dynamics matter. A global superstar contacting someone involved in a case tied to her partner creates pressure whether she intends it or not. Even a message that seems calm can be framed as influence when lawyers start pulling it apart line by line. Meanwhile, Stefon Diggs' situation was only getting heavier. Felony strangulation charges are no joke. They're treated seriously because of the potential for long-term harm, even if no permanent injuries are visible. Add in the misdemeanor assault and battery allegations, and suddenly this isn't something that gets swept under the rug with money and silence. And here's what really made people uneasy. The argument wasn't about jealousy or emotions. It was about money, control, and access. According to the claims, this started over payment disputes, a professional disagreement that allegedly escalated into physical force. That detail matters because it paints a picture of frustration boiling over, not a misunderstanding. At the same time, fans began revisiting Diggs' public history, past rumors, old behavior. Situations people once brushed off suddenly look different through this new lens. Fair or not, once allegations like this surface, everything gets re-examined. And Cardi? She was catching heat from every angle. Some fans defended her fiercely, saying she was doing what any partner would do, standing up for her man and refusing to let lies spread unchecked. Others weren't buying it. They said she should have protected herself and her kids first, not jumped headfirst into legal crossfire that wasn't hers to fight. One comment summed it up perfectly. Even if he's innocent, you're making it harder for him. And that's the part that hurts the most. Because by inserting herself publicly, Cardi didn't just risk her own reputation. She potentially complicated Diggs' defense. Any lawyer will tell you silence is gold. And once words are out there, they can't be taken back. Screenshots live forever. Prosecutors archive everything. Then came the speculation nobody wanted to touch directly. Those text messages between Diggs and the chef. The language felt personal to a lot of people. Lines like, "I'm out of your life," and references to chaos in the house made some fans question whether this relationship crossed professional boundaries. No proof, no confirmations, but once the internet smells mess, it runs with it. And that speculation put even more pressure on Cardi. Because now, instead of being seen as a partner standing by her man, she was being dragged into conversations about jealousy, denial, and misplaced loyalty. People weren't just talking about court anymore. They were talking about patterns. Patterns of chaos. Patterns of defending men who bring nothing but trouble. Patterns of women stepping into fires that burn them too. And through all of this, the most telling detail was the chef's response. She didn't argue online. She didn't clap back. She didn't explain herself. She shut communication down and redirected everything to her mediator. That's not the move of someone chasing attention. That's the move of someone letting the legal system speak for them, which only made Cardi's post look louder by comparison. At this point, the damage wasn't just about charges or accusations, it was about optics. And the optics were ugly. Because when emotions override strategy, even the truth can get buried under bad decisions. And whether Cardi meant to or not, she walked herself straight into a situation where every move now matters. And the scariest part, the courts haven't even responded yet. And when they do, the consequences won't care about intentions, only actions. By the time the dust settled, one thing became painfully clear. This situation was never just about one argument or one night. It became a case study in how fast celebrity, emotion, and bad timing can collide with the legal system in the worst way possible. Because once lawyers, prosecutors, and judges step in, intention stops mattering. At that stage, everything turns into evidence. Every DM, every post, every screenshot, every public statement. And that's what made this story so dangerous for Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. Not what they meant to do, but what it looked like they did. From a legal standpoint, Diggs was already facing an uphill battle. Felony strangulation charges alone are treated with extreme seriousness because of the risk involved, even when visible injuries are minimal. Add assault and battery into the mix, and suddenly prosecutors aren't looking for explanations. They're looking for patterns and accountability. Then, Cardi's involvement complicated everything. Instead of remaining a background figure, she became part of the narrative. Not through rumors, not through blogs, through her own posts. And once that happened, the case expanded in perception, even if not yet on paper. That's why so many people said this felt like a turning point. Because when a high-profile partner publicly engages with an alleged victim, courts don't read that as loyalty. They read it as influence. And when influence enters the picture, consequences escalate fast. What also didn't help was the timing. This came not long after the internet was already questioning Cardi's personal life, her relationship choices, and the chaos surrounding her romantic transitions. So instead of sympathy, a lot of people responded with exhaustion. Not free them, not hear them out, but why is this always messy? And that's where perception becomes its own punishment. Because even if no additional charges ever stick, reputations don't bounce back easily from situations like this. The internet never forgets screenshots, headlines don't expire, and court documents don't care about fan loyalty. What makes this story linger is that it didn't end with a dramatic arrest or a clean resolution. It paused, right at the most uncomfortable moment. The kind of pause where everyone knows something serious is unfolding, but no one knows how hard the landing will be. And that uncertainty, that's the real damage. Because now, every future move is watched differently. Silence gets interpreted as guilt. Speaking up gets framed as panic. Even distance can be seen as strategy. There's no neutral position once a case reaches this level. At the end of the day, this wasn't about picking sides. It was about watching how quickly defending someone you love can turn into self-inflicted legal exposure, and how fame doesn't protect you when the system starts moving. If you're rocking with these deep dives and want more breakdowns where the truth isn't clean and the stakes are real, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. because stories like this don't disappear, they evolve.